Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie, Linda, Wendy, invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy, building marriages with soul-satisfying connection, raising happy, healthy, successful kids. Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want. Episode 26.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Mighty Married Moms show. We are really happy to have you joining us today. And we just had a great conversation with Kathi Bridge, who is a money coach. And she shared some things with us that were putting, at least a little bit challenging to me, and I think to my colleagues here as well. So ladies, tell us, what did you think of our conversation with Kathi today?
Who doesn't need a money coach, by the way? I think 99% of us definitely need a money coach, for sure.
Yeah. I know, it's funny you said that word, 99, because you brought that up in the conversation, that 1%, I read this, that 1% of the world's population is very close to holding 50% of the wealth.
I've read something along those lines too. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it is kind of mind-blowing.
Yes, and it's going to happen this year that is going to turn over, that 1%. And I've also heard that 1% of the world's people is about 80 people.
Yeah.
Or that sounds low.
It's not 80 people, no.
No, it's not 80 people. But the point is...
yeah, the point is that it's very small. And that we're just not as well off as we were. I love what you said about your mom. That your mom on a single or a teacher's salary was able to put 2 cars in the driveway, take care of 3 children, get you guys to college, and whatever, your dad's business wasn't as flourishing as it could have been, and so they were really dependent on that one secure paycheck from the school system.
And of course she has her pension plan, and she has Social Security, which we won't have.
Right.
You know.
Right. And like you said, we can't do that. No teacher today can put 2 cars in the driveway, 3 kids through school with a good pair of sneakers every 6 months, and get them off to college. It's not going to happen.
It's not possible.
So the money management thing is so huge. And then what she said, it made me feel better. 50% of the entire North American world lives paycheck to paycheck. I mean, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel, feels okay. Well, I'm not quite there, but really... it
makes you feel like you're part of the world.
Yeah, part of that 50%. Yeah.
Well, but the point is we want to get out of that.
Right, totally.
We want to get into the other 50%, or as she said, it was 47% is like that, and so what is that, 53%? We want to make sure that we're in that 53% that's not living paycheck to paycheck.
Right. And coaching can help.
And coaching can absolutely help. I think Kathi does a great job. I know she's worked with several people, and I know they're really thrilled by being able to work with her, and I can't wait to see the program that she's got coming out. So.
Absolutely. And I think, she said 50% spend more than they make every month.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be really quick.
Yeah.
That's huge, right? You can't spend more than you make. And that's a hard thing to do when you want to have a certain lifestyle. It's easy. And with the credit cards, it made it easy for us to do that.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I have an interesting story because when I was in college, I graduated in 1985. I'll go ahead and claim it. Yeah. And there was no such thing as a personal finances course when I was in college. It just didn't exist. I took an economics course, which did me absolutely no good, and I didn't even do very well in it, to be perfectly honest. That was my lowest grade in college, was my econ class. And now my kids, so our oldest son is 24, and he on his own he went to Worcester Polytech, and he decided, as an engineer, so he's got a numbers mind anyway, and he decided to take that personal finance course, and so he got out, and he's in the Navy now, and he's granted he got a bunch of bonuses because he's also a submarine officer, and so he's got bonus for this and a bonus for that and a bonus for something else, but he figured out because of a particular loan that he could get, it would cost him less, see if I get this right, it would cost him less to pay back that loan than he'll make in whatever the penalties, something like that. So it's actually earning him money to take a loan out. And so he did that and he used some of it to buy his first car. And so, those are the kinds of things that he learned in his personal finance course. And, he's doing fine now, which is great. And then the funny thing is, Brittany, I hope you're not listening to this at some point. Or if you are, that it's a few years down the road.
Dropping the dime on Brittany. Okay.
But she's currently a senior in college, and her father and I strongly encouraged her to take a personal finance course because we feel that she needs to learn these things because of past history. We just feel that she needs to learn these things. And she, of course, was really hesitant because it was something we wanted her to do. And she did, however, see the light, and she signed up for it. Second semester, senior year, she's taking a personal finance course, and she talked to me the other day and said, you know, I'm in this course, and there are a whole bunch of people like me in the class, and the professor keeps asking us if we know what this is or we know what that is, and none of us have any idea. And so I was just so grateful that she took the class, and I can't wait until I see the growth in her by the end of the semester and when she graduates in a few months, and she'll be in a much better footing than she would have been if she hadn't taken this class. So I'm very grateful. Thank you, Brittany, in advance for taking our advice. We tried not to shove it down your throat. We really did, but we really wanted you to take the class.
So it all worked out.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned you both said personal finance course. She said, Kathi Bridge said, financial literacy.
Yes.
That is a very interesting turn of phrase. Financial literacy. In other words, English literacy or French literacy. You know, how can I be fluent? How can I speak finance? How can I understand finance? And I got to say, I'm older than you. No, and I not much, but I read a book in the last year and a half called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Completely opened my eyes to how money moves in our society. And I'll give you the one thing that would really popped off the pages for me. And that was, he said, if you were to ask anybody in the United States of America, maybe even Canada, where our colleague Kathi was from, what your home, you've bought a home, you've got a mortgage on it, is your home in your liability or in your
asset or liabilities.
Asset or liability. And of course, all of us would say, "Oh, it's my largest asset." You know, I'm so excited about it. He said, "Let me tell you something. The definition of an asset is anything that puts money in your pocket." When's the last time your house put money in your pocket?
Good question.
Right? And I was like, oh my God, I can't even tell you how much I wanted to drop my mortgage right then and there. I really did. I wanted to just go, okay, you people, this is ridiculous. Because I don't know about you, but I'm chasing that mortgage money every month. Oh, please, Lord, please, Lord, please. Well, I mean, you know, like I said, since I've gotten off of a steady paycheck grid and doing something different in an entrepreneurial venture. But, you know, there's something about that's the biggest bill, the most important bill is that mortgage payment, right? But really, you know, it doesn't pay us. It's an asset in the bank's column, and it's a liability in my personal column.
Well, it will pay us if it will pay me if I decided to sell it and move somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. If you were to sell it in 2009, maybe not.
Yeah.
You might have taken a loss on it.
Yeah.
Right? So that was his point. It was very, very eye-opening. Now, I'm not advocating that people give up their homes and run for the hills. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting that one piece of information made me more financially literate than I was before I read it, and understanding something in a way that had a big impact. And I just think that it's really restructured a lot of how I want I'm not banking on selling my house and being able to retire on it. I'm looking at my life more holistically and finding other ways to make sure that my financial underpinnings are stronger because of that.
Yeah.
I like that Kathi put things in 3 expense categories, which I thought was really interesting, something that I know that through most of my life I haven't really thought about. And I'm coming from, I'm an artist, right? So artists really, and a kind of a lower middle class background. So I've always been in the mindset of I don't expect to have, or I haven't expected to have things. And so it's really a kind of a mental, place where I put myself for no reason, and certainly shifting out of that. But I think there's some practicalities, which is really, what Kathi talked a lot about today. Maybe you can't change your financial situation immediately with that split of the 1% and the rest, but you can certainly do things to save money and watch how you're spending your money and putting things in a fixed, variable, and future. Planning that every single month, right? Every single month you're going to put money aside for when your car breaks down and you need to replace the brakes, or, things that just come up that when you're not planning for it, you go, oh no, now I've got this huge expense this month, I'm going to go put it on the credit card. And then you start to get into trouble that way. So I thought that was great, and that she said that she opens up a separate bank account for the variable expenses, the food, the gas, the going out,
couple of movies,
whatever they are, and that you don't spend beyond that. And if you get to she puts money in every single week. You allot
Friday morning,
goes every week, and she puts it in on Friday and Thursday. If you have no money left, you can't go out to dinner that night, or you can't, you've spent your money. You have to wait till Friday till it starts all over again to better discipline yourself. And having it in a separate account really helps you discipline, because otherwise, I know for me, it's like, oh, what did I spend that money on? And gosh, where did it all go?
Where'd it go?
Feels like I'm not really spending money on anything. But if you go back and look, then you start to realize what you're doing. And it's much better that way than, as she said, keeping track of every little thing that you spend feels torturous, and it's not a very fun process. Right. But just putting it in there, knowing I can't go beyond it, it's much simpler. And
in that regard too, and also when you have a debit card, right? You get a statement from the bank. Oh, $20 to Sunoco, $40 to the movie theater, whatever. It is written down, right on your debit card statement. So
and I'll say actually. A couple of years ago, one of my sisters shared some Dave Ramsey recordings with us from his Financial Peace University, and we didn't listen to the whole program because she had paid for it. We didn't, and so. Yeah. But we did get to listen to at least some of it, and he basically said the same thing, except that what he does is he doesn't use any cards at all. Mm-hmm. He recommends no cards, and he says have envelopes for all of these different the three different things, and. So what we did was we took that and we adapted it, and I have to say my brilliant engineer husband, he's much better at this stuff than I am, and that's why we make a really good couple, because he covers my butt sometimes and I cover his butt sometimes, and he's been my financial literacy educator because I never had it before, and so that's what we did. We set up a bank account which is separate, so I have a separate card, as I said in the interview with Kathy, that's mom's discretionary, and everybody in the family has access to it, and the kids have to let us know if they're going to put something on it, and that discretionary for us includes clothing, shoes, dinners, books that we want to buy on Amazon, movies when we go out, all that stuff. We do put gas into our fixed because it's predictable for the most part. Groceries are generally predictable, so we put those into our fixed. We've over the years, Arch has kept track of roughly how much we spend on car repairs, so that's predictable. That goes into fixed for us. Obviously you have to do what works best for you and your family. But we've been doing this for a while, and it's made a huge difference in recognizing, when the money runs out on Wednesday afternoon, and I know it's not going to be refilled till Friday, that's it. I don't have any more money. Right. That's it.
It's recalling other conversations we've had. Like we had a conversation recently with a physician who deals with mind-body medicine and stress and cortisol levels going up. Yeah. Can you imagine if you didn't have the fear of the mailbox and the bills coming in, or you said, oh, there's too much month at the end of the money, all that, if you could turn down the volume on that stress hit and your cortisol levels going up with that, and getting some peace, or like
financial peace
University. It's just I know for me that would be huge, and I'm not quite sure why I'm still so childish about money. It's something I really have to look at it or just have to change it. I'm getting to the point where oh please, analysis. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares what the origins are? Like my mother didn't change my diaper often enough when I was 3 or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. If I was wearing diapers at 3, there really is a problem. But you know what I mean? Like there's something about an analysis that's limited, and it's just like let's just redirect and change habits and forge new brain patterns.
I was just going to say it's a mindset. It's a mindset issue. Absolutely. Yep. What do we do with our money? How we handle it? How we approach it? It's all about mindset. But more than that, it's also about, as Kathy said, setting up systems. Right. So you got to set up systems so that you will be successful. And my husband has set up really good systems, and I'm very grateful to him.
That's great.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, but I like that she admitted that, even she doesn't even she's not worried about paying the bills. She's living the lifestyle of her dreams. Yeah. She does exactly what she wants to do every single day. But even still, the same pattern, that sort of, primordial thing that you grew up with, I know I do, so it made me feel good that she says, and even I sort of go, oh, the bills, I got to pay the bills,
I don't even want to open them.
I don't want to open them, but she schedules a time every week. She does it one time every week, does everything in that one time.
Puts that nasty task behind her.
And it's all done at once, not this sort of letting it build up and sitting there and thinking about it. So it was great to hear, because I definitely do that. I go, oh, and then I think, why? Why am I procrastinating? Just pay it.
Yeah,
do it.
And that's a great habit to have.
Yeah,
it is. Once a week or every other week, whatever it is. Some people do it once a month. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, that's when you deal with it, and that way your stress and cortisol levels don't rise up.
Yeah.
And, you put it in your calendar. This is when I'm going to deal with it, and that's the end of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. This is why we're Mighty Married Moms, is because we're really trying to find ways, strategies that really help real people, real women in real life in North America in the year 2015 and beyond, that really make a difference. Yeah. And this is why we're doing this. Is just because there are better ways to do things, and we're really in touch with some cool people, as you will discover.
Yes. For sure. So were there some other things that jumped out at you, either from what Kathi said or from the way it affected you, or anything from your past or whatever? I'll true confessions here. Like I said, my parents taught me how to use a checkbook. I didn't really know how to use a checking account.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I went to college, my checks were bouncing, and I didn't know why. Yeah. No one had ever explained to me why my checks were bouncing. What does that mean, really?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Is it a rubber ball?
Yeah, I know. Totally.
And
well, that's that financial literacy word
I had
again.
no financial literacy.
Right. And yet,
I didn't either. Nothing was ever taught.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And there you were at one of the Seven Sisters.
Yeah.
A brilliant mind, going to one of the top level women's colleges in the United States of America.
Writing awesome papers,
Writing awesome papers with that right brain of yours. But yet bouncing checks were elusive, and there was no financial literacy. And if you were a bright bulb, I'm sure that if
somebody had taught me, I
you would have done
it.
Do. Yeah, I know. And we're so
And for, all those years as a teacher, one of the topics that was starting to come up the last few years that I was teaching, just the last couple of years, was financial literacy. And so I have heard that term before.
Yeah.
Because it is absolutely critical for us to teach kids, starting in high school, how to handle their money. I know our local high school, where my kids went, not where I taught, but where my kids went, they do actually offer a personal finances course. And I think the school where I was last teaching also offered a personal finances course. It should be a requirement, just like gym class.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And gym classes aren't all required anymore either. And that goes to that mind-body connection that we've been talking about. But as far
as we'd all had financial literacy courses, do you think that 1% would have of the world's, 50% of the world's wealth would be in the hands of 1% of the people?
No, if people knew what to do with their money, it would be so much better. Okay, so ladies, this is our new thing, okay? We not only need to have gym classes for our kids so they get up and move, but we also need to have
music, financial,
all those things, financial literacy, all those things, all the arts and the physical education and health.
Right. And if they're not getting it in their schools, they're going to get them at home with some really great YouTube videos, because you're going to go on these people's websites and you're going to say, I'm going to go see Kathi Bridge's websites and her YouTubes, and there's just other ways that we can help our kids and help our families get stronger.
Yeah, but I mean, that's an interesting thought. How important is health class, gym class, art, music, and financial literacy in comparison to history? I mean, you're going to start weighing classes? I mean, you can't do everything, right?
No.
So how do you choose? So maybe you can do everything. Maybe you do some things earlier in the career and some things later in the career.
And some things at home.
Yeah,
you can't leave everything to the school.
No.
Like that whole sex ed thing.
Except that parents aren't always equipped to teach these things, though.
No, but that's why you got YouTube videos. Okay. And that's why you got KathiBridge.com, and you can go to her video, and she's got a video channel, and you can go, here you go, kids, and you just put them in front of the screen. Everything will be great. Yeah. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But there's just so many ways of learning these days, and we don't have to. It doesn't all have to happen in the school. And so we're taking some action. All of us taking some action on making life better for ourselves and our families.
Yeah.
It's really great.
So, anything else that we want to bring up?
That she spoke about?
Yeah, talking about money. And
oh my gosh, it was, like I said, so much. It really, when you guys first said we're gonna have, I was like,
a money coach.
This is not my. I just feel I have a lot of guilt and remorse over how I conducted myself over my life. I could have, would have, should have. But I suppose, like I just said,
let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, some of our other, experts that we've talked to, just talking about accepting, letting it go. Your past is your past. This is your present, and you can affect your future positively by following Kathy's recommendations and doing her strategies, and really just something as simple as creating that other bank account for those variable expenses. I mean, that doesn't sound like it would be that dramatic, but I know already it's going to be really dramatic. And I haven't actually set up a separate account, but I've tried to keep them separate and plan how much at the beginning of the month and the end of the month that, they can spend. But, just so that you also have money for the future expenses. Because if you don't keep track of the variable and you overspend, then you don't have money for your future.
Right.
So you really do need to budget it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like you said when we started out, who doesn't need a money coach?
Absolutely.
We're working with some financial planners, and presumably, even though we're spending money to work with them, they're saving us money.
Absolutely.
And you have to look at it not as how much am I spending on this. Look at it as an investment. And that's something somebody said recently to me just within the last week or two, and I'm trying to change my whole mindset. And this is related to money. It's related to so many things. Don't think of yourself as spending. Think of yourself as investing. So are you spending time or investing time in your kids? Are you spending money?
Wow.
Yeah. Are you spending money on learning how to do this stuff, or are you investing money in how to learn to do this stuff? So if you can stop using the word spend and start using the word invest, it will completely change your mindset and put you in a position to find people who will help you be more successful, whatever that may be. Like I said, in creating a better relationship with your kids or your spouse, or in creating a better relationship with the money that you have in your life.
Right.
Invest in these things. Don't spend on them.
Right. That's a really good thing.
Yeah.
And I've also heard something recently, too, about don't say how much does something cost.
Exactly.
Say, what is the value of this?
Yeah.
So if you're, for instance, the three of us talk often about going to conferences to learn more, and a lot of them involve plane trips and hotel bills.
Yes.
In addition to the cost of the coursework, and so is that adding up the cost or adding up the value, like the return on this investment, the return on this time. When I get skilled up in XYZ, and I come back and I fold it into my life, and I fold it into our practice here. I fold it into my work with ConnectAgain.org, and you fold it in with your initiatives. It's going to reap great reward, and the value of that just goes up. So it is a shift in mindset. Whereas people say, "Oh, sure, you're going to take that class. How much are they charging you for that?" What's the value of that to my life? What is the value of that to my life?
Yeah, and how am I going to invest in it?
Yep. And clearly, Kathy, she has an enviable life as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
She said how did she say it? She said she designed a lifestyle.
Yep.
She said in her mind, she wants to have 100 days this year, maybe next year she has 120 days in mind, I don't know, of being on the slopes and skiing. So 100 days, she's 25 days in. I don't know what you've been doing since November, but I haven't had 25 days on the slopes myself.
No, I haven't.
Nor could I say at 9 a.m. I'm finished work for the day and now I'm going to go ski.
Yeah, she said she woke up early. She told us this after we stopped recording. She woke up early at 5 o'clock. She was talking to us at 8 o'clock because she's out west and we're out east. And she was done with her work. She done homework from two of her clients yesterday, and she was going to go skiing with her daughter.
For the day.
For the day. How cool is that?
Right, and that's the kind of and she must have very low cortisol levels. Just saying, right? Seriously. Yeah. I mean, if you are taking charge of the one life that you have been bequeathed in life, as opposed to being jerked around by my boss needs this and I need to drive into the city wherever your city is. Ours is Boston, or my husband was all excited because he had snow days. We had a big blizzard here recently. He had snow days, and I'm sitting there looking at him going, every day's a snow day for me. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I'm not working. Sure. That doesn't mean I'm not putting time in. But there's something to be said for this. It's a I find it a hardship to have somebody else be in charge of my day-to-day life. And if I'm in charge of my day-to-day life, believe me, I'm a taskmaster. Yeah. Okay. So it's not like I'm sitting around eating bonbons all day. However, it is mine. Right. It is my economy to build. It's my economy to... And so there's that. I'd love to kind of talk with some entrepreneurial spirits who kind of fold in what Kathy's Kathy's living as an entrepreneur, and her content is about money management or money coaching. But there are a lot of people out there who are saying there's other ways to live the life that I've been given, and is it really all about being in a seat or in a cube 9 to 5 in somebody else's organization?
And I'll have to tell you, I first met Kathi at one of these events about a year and a half or 2 years ago, and she was really just kind of getting going, doing this whole thing, and it was a struggle for her at first, trying to figure out.
A year and a half ago.
Year and a half, 2 years
ago.
ago.
And now she's spending 100 days.
And now she's spending 100 days skiing. Yeah, so and what she's done is what my friend and mentor John Asraf talks about, and that is design the life you want to live first. Start with that. And then once you have that, build in all the pieces that will help you get to that designed life, which is a cool way to think about it. And so here the 3 women are here, and we're all entrepreneurs, and I think we all have a vision of what our designed life would look like, and we're all working to make that happen for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And I think having a money coach or having these strategies that Kathi speaks of would be key about really helping to get there in a more solid way, in a way that decreases the anxiety.
Yeah.
Because when you're not, for me anyway, my people pay me not every Thursday into direct deposit like it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing when you're working on your own in that regard. So that's a other piece of money management to learn for myself anyway. But,
so did you want to add anything else?
No.
You're all set? So I'll just say then that so call to action for our listeners and viewers. If you're an entrepreneur, what's your designed life? What do you want your life to look like? And what steps are you putting into place right now to create that kind of life for yourself? And if you're not an entrepreneur, that's totally fine too. What kind of life do you want to have? And again, what kind of steps are you putting into place in order to make that happen for you?
And are you part of that 50% who hasn't saved enough for retirement, who doesn't have the money in the bank? And wouldn't it benefit all of us to have strategies, no matter what income level you're at? It doesn't matter. You can still have strategies to be able to save money and create your future.
Exactly.
So please put comments under this on our website, which you can find us at mightymarriedmoms.com. And we would love to have you share your thoughts and experiences on this. I'm going to bet that this hits a chord, because money is something that we all struggle with in one way, shape, or form. Even if we have lots of it, people still struggle with the mental aspect of it. So share what your struggles are, share what your dreams are, share what your successes are. We would love to hear from you.
Where are the holes in your bucket, and where can you strategize to plug them up?
Yeah, exactly. Great. So thanks for being with us again today here at mightymarriedmoms.com, and we will look forward to talking to you again next week. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.